making me question my connection with William. How y'all let this man manipulate y'all? I'm still trying to get that in through my scalp. I'm done with it.
I wanna rock!
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're here giving you guys a live talking about Ready to Love. Let me tell you something. Let me be honest. Let me be real. Let me be frank. Now, Laron, I know you in the chat, and I love you, man. I do. I really do, bro. But I gotta hold you accountable. You know that was some bullshit. Excuse my French. I know I'm trying to change, and Jesus knows my heart. But you know that was some bullcrap. Yeah, listen. I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck 100. You know that was some bullcrap. When you pulled out that card to tell the rest of the group that you wanted to sit them down, first of all, it's a power play, right? I'm all for dark arts, by the way. You know me. I'm always down for dark arts. I love a good dark arts. But I have to be very, very honest. That was a power play. For you to pull everybody in the room and pull everybody from the house into a room to tell them, first and foremost, everybody be cool, respect your particular connections, etc. Totally hear you. Okay? Totally hear you. But then for you to pull out, wherever you pulled it out from, that there has been alliances. Are your hands clean before you ask and say that you are talking about alliances? No, can we be honest with you? Because let me tell you this now. Are your hands clean when you say about alliances? That's my question. Because everybody in these shows tends to formulate some type of alliances in the show. Okay? All right? And yourself as you're on camera telling us you're gonna go and cut the head of a snake off, which was the people that were involved. You were gonna take them out of the game. That would be you building an alliance, and that would be you going after them. Your retaliation would make you equally as culpable as them. You are no better than them. I love Laron, I really do, bro. Listen, I got your back, bro. But that was some dark arts. You know what I mean? And I'm always down for dark arts. So listen, I'm always down for dark arts. So fair play to you. You know what I'm saying to you? If I'm going to call it from a dark arts appearance, I'm going to tell you it is fair play to do so. In love and war, you play the game how you need to play the game to win. You know what I'm saying to you? That I can always respect. But the other part I have to tell you the honest truth is, you know that was a power play. I know it was a power play. We all know it was a power play. We all know that was a dark arts move that you pulled there in front of the crew. Okay, I gotta hold you accountable for that, my brother. Okay, because by you retaliating, you were also forming an alliance, and then you also made everybody then turn against William. Now, whether you agree with this or not, once you then made an announcement, everybody turns against William. Now that makes him also public enemy number one. And according to the show, Maya now turns her interest away from William to you. So, of course, it's a dark art. Well played. I'll say it again. It's well played because it's a dark arts move. Okay, so well played. You got the girl in the end. You managed to isolate her, bring her to your side. I ain't going to play with you. I'm not going to hate on that. That's a well played move. You know what I'm saying to you? That was well out of the dark arts playbook. But in that situation, you was cheeky for that. You know what I mean? You knew you was cheeky for that. I knew you was cheeky for that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. A situation that's a bit political. You know what I mean? Laron side said chill. Yeah, it's just a little bit cheeky. No, it wouldn't be dirty macking as such, because he didn't talk wickedness on William per se, but it was more that he exposed some dossier. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can call that dirty macking, because dirty macking you'd have to be saying how bad the person is, but it's more of a case of he exposed a behavior. I don't know. I can see how you say dirty macking. Let me not disagree. Let me be open to it. Okay, let me just be open to it. That you can say dirty macking. I would say more. I don't know if that's dirty macking as such, right? But I can take what you're saying, guys. I can take what you're saying in that respect. You know what I'm saying to you, okay? But this is love and war, and in love and war, you gotta play your game, and You know, Laron drew for blood first, and left the enemy wounded and gaping with a hole. So it is what it is. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about Chaz also. They ain't inviting me to Dallas after this. I ain't coming to Dallas after this for sure. The Chaz situation, one too many connections has now started working against you. But can I just say this first and foremost? Why the hell was Patrice adding herself to the pot? I don't get that. Is she trying to play a game? I didn't understand. Why is Patrice adding herself to the plot? I'm so confused. Why does Patrice need to add herself to Chaz? If Chaz wasn't calling you and messaging you, and we're now at the house, I'm like, why did you need to be added to the situation? I don't get that. And I was so confused as to why you wanted to. I'm adding myself now. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, why are you adding yourself? That was just weird. But then obviously Chaz with all the other ladies. I get both Vanessa and his perspective, right? First and foremost, you're not my girl, so I actually owe you nothing. But I also get Vanessa's point of view, which is it's not a nice thing to see when your connection is handsy, jumping in beds. It's not a nice thing, right? And so I do understand both their perspective, both Vanessa and also, both Vanessa and Chaz. I got both of their points of view. It was interesting to see how Vanessa kind of played it, because he was like, you're annoyed, innit? And she's like, no, I'm not. But you could tell she was annoyed because she wasn't responding to any of his touches, any of his little, touching off her head or whatever. She never replied to it. So I was like, girl, you're tired, you're annoyed of him. Let's be honest, you don't like it, okay? But yeah, I want to be fair to both Chaz and to Vanessa that's a difficult situation to navigate, right? And him jumping in the bed shouldn't be a just cause discern for now you don't want to talk to me, or now you're feeling vexed at me, you know what I mean? So that was a little bit of insecurity on her part, but I also understand as well he wasn't really taking care, especially when he started. I mean, Vanessa never saw this until probably later on, but especially when Chaz then began to suck some titties. Especially when he started to suck some titties. my bottle opened up. I was like, yo. Now, I've been saying this about Chaz from the very beginning. Listen, I like Chaz. I think he's cool. I think he's a cool guy. I just wanted the darkness to come out. I just wanted the darkness to come out because it was too pretty. It was too pretty. It was too pristine. That thing was too pristine. I told y'all, listen, no offense, but whenever a brother jumps in the way he does, I said, it's too pristine for me. It's too pristine. I said it. I've been calling it. It's too pristine. You're too clean. I told y'all, it's too clean. So when he started sucking on some titties, on Rashina's titties, I shouldn't say like that, but I mean, he was literally, when he was deep diving in between the crevices of the canyons that Rashina was carrying, that behavior came out. And then obviously, he was even, kissing and taking, strawberries from the mouth of Rashina too. So, I mean, listen, hey, look, I get it. I totally understand it. I'm not mad at it, You got to do what you got to do. And the game is the game. Okay? The game is the game. Okay? All right? So, listen, do what you got to do. I'm not mad at it. Then obviously we had Mika and Justin. She fell off the jet ski. Poor girl, really, because she fell off the jet ski. I did feel for her a little bit. Like, it's never nice when you fall off the jet ski and you got your hair as well. But they seem to be getting on quite well. I don't know if I really see that relationship, but I see that for now there's a relationship going on. I don't see it long term, but I see a short term gain for these two. So definitely thinking that particular aspect. Also, I want to say also as well that who was the other one? Patrice and Alonzo. They seem to be getting on quite well, Patrice and Alonzo. But after I see Patrice go after volunteer for Chaz, I'm like, sis, so you had a strategy. is given that she had a strategy. Because why are you saying you want Alonzo whilst simultaneously going after Chaz? Like, Chaz didn't even want you because he weren't calling you. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So I'm wondering why. I'm wondering now that about the connection between you and Alonzo. So you chose Alonzo for what reason? What's the reason? What is the reason? Okay, so Chaz didn't even want to call her, so I don't know why she decided to hedge her bets on Chaz. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so something's going on which just needs to be adhered to. Okay. Oh, you think that she friend zoned Alonzo? Oh, okay. Aish. Okay, we gonna find out. We gonna find out. No biggie. Okay. Cool. And then we also had as well in this situation. Sorry, we also had. I think that was about it actually. Saying that because there wasn't many couples or many people together. So hold on, let me just make sure my notes. Maya and William, their situation came to a halt and an end. Well, because obviously, William got snitched on by Laron. Laron finished him, and so it looks like. Let's be honest. It looks like the end of William and Maya. And to be fair, if that little situation made Maya jump, Maya didn't want William in the first place. I think Maya's really cool. I just want to be honest about it. If you jumped over because of one conversation, which doesn't make sense, because in the cutscene between them two, they were talking in the bedroom, and William said, "I told you this already." I was like, "Wait, hold on. If he's already told you all of this, why are you switching? Why are you switching? If he told you already all of this information, you've had this conversation already. You discussed this previously. Why would you switch? Do you get what I'm saying to you? That don't make no sense. If you know you've already had a conversation and he's told you everything and he told you about how this information, where it came from, he was upfront and honest, why would Maya begin to start changing? You know what I'm saying to you? Why would she start changing? So I was just like, yeah, it's not given. You know? It's not given. This is not given at all. It's not given at all. So I was like, yeah, something is not quite right because, baby, you wouldn't have switched that easily. Obviously, Maya and Patrice were talking, and he exposed obviously that he had his father's situation as well. You know, and it's been weighing on him very, very heavy. For her, I think when it comes to when it comes to Patrice and William, he was honest and open with her, and she really supported him really well. She spoke about church and God. Spoke about God and leaning on God in this important time. So I really love that. I really love that point of view as well. Good support. But let me get Jar. I'm sure the rest of the guys will join us in a second, but they're gonna take too long, so ain't nobody waiting on them. JR, what you saying, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm all good, bro. How you doing?
I'm alive and I'm well, bro. I'm alive and I'm well. Listen, crazy things are going on. Let's start from the beginning. Obviously, Chaz got into bed with Mika, but then also at the same time had Vanessa kind of feeling some type of way and kind of avoiding him as well until they had their conversation. What's your thoughts with Chaz and his multiple connections?
Ooh, yeah, I can actually see why he's gained so many connections, you know. He's got the finances sorted out, which is a key for the contestants. You also got someone who's quite aesthetically pleasing to the eye for the ladies as well. You know, he seems to be the prize or the catch out of all the guys at the moment. So the ladies are making themselves known and present that they are interested in him. And it seems like he's undecided about who he wants to be with. And Vanessa trying to influence his process by kind of saying, listen, like, you need to be more assertive. You need to let the others know, basically, that you're pursuing Vanessa. And he ain't doing that. Like, he's still looking to enjoy his process. And now he's still gaining connections, like with Patrice and that, on top of the ones that he had before he got there. So yeah, like you can see he's uncomfortable though. So even though he's creating a situation by not necessarily narrowing it down to one, he's finding it very uncomfortable dealing with multiple connections at the time, which is why he kept on referring to that. It's something that he's not used to dealing with. So I found it interesting. I think he does have different connections with different ladies. Like with Rashonda, like he was, as you said, he was doing some titillating movements with the grapes and the strawberries and all that stuff. And he doesn't have that type of connection with Vanessa from what we've seen, right? So there's definitely more of a flirtatious thing going on with her. Then with Vanessa, he says they connect on so many different levels, conversation and things like that. So that's more of that type of connection. Patrice, I think the connection is mainly like exploratory. Like I think she just wants to see how far it could potentially go. But like you rightly said, she's already got a deep connection with Alonzo. Love letters being passed and phone calls and romantic dates at the museum and all those things. So I was like, why is she egging up herself to try and get Chaz on board now? Maybe to add more connections to make sure she's safe in the voting. But other than that, like, I'm not sure that's a good idea. But to be fair, Alonzo doesn't seem to be possessive or mad about it, and he doesn't have too many other connections either. I think Patrice is his only connection. So yeah, Chaz is playing the field, as they say, but Laron even said it in the group meeting that he arranged. Ain't nobody married there. So if you've got a problem with your connection talking to the other ladies or talking to the other guys there, then that's a you problem. Like, you need to overcome that, because it's the process. You're at the retreat and everybody's kind of fair game until they lock it down with you. So that's what I took from that.
Appreciate you. Yeah, listen, no, like I think personally, like with obviously Chaz and his multi-million connections, you know, that he was starting to play a bit more of a game now, right? And it was a stupid game because obviously now he's in the house, he's trying to do a bit more. Problem is he's doing it right in front of people. So like when Vanessa's seeing certain things, it's like it's not going to help the situation because she can't unsee what she saw. But I think Chaz obviously is just trying to enjoy the process, trying to enjoy it to the very end. Probably be one of the last two. He probably wants that. Probably wants that part as well. But might not end up actually wanting a person. But listen, he's got obviously a multi-million of ladies who actually want him, and he just needs to be able to choose. The question is, can he choose? Is he going to be able to choose? Does he have the ability to discern that and choose somebody who he wants for himself? That's the key question. That's why old girl says she's not attracted to him anymore. Or losing attraction, I should say. Vanessa.
Yeah. And, you know, when he sat down one-to-one with Vanessa and she was expressing how she felt, you could tell he was kind of uncomfortable hearing that too. Because, you know, like, I don't think he wants to narrow it down to one person at this point. He may actually be thinking about, when I get to the bridge, that's when I'm going to make my choice. And all this pressure that's being applied at the moment, like, he's not ready for that. Like, he's, you know, in fact, that's probably going to turn him off because of how pushy she's being. So I don't think he's 100% sold on Vanessa. Otherwise, he would have responded in a way which said, you know what, I'm going to go after you then only. Because we stay up talking, we got the connection, you know, I'm feeling you, this, that, the other. So because he didn't he didn't respond to her in that way. I don't think he really likes her like that. The fact that the other ladies like Rashonda and Patrice were able to, not only get time with him, but establish a connection of sorts, then that to me seems like he's very much open to linking them other ladies as well. So yeah, he's creating his own problem, but I think Vanessa's too possessive anyway. I think fair enough, she has no other connections. So she's trying to solidify the one that she has, but she also has to be mindful that he's not in that situation. Unfortunately, he still has to wean through his process, and he wants to make sure he makes the right decision. Vanessa and Mika both have children, and he doesn't. And I think that's also playing a factor in why, who he's hanging with. Patrice has kids too. The only one that doesn't is Maya, I think. So, I think he's definitely taking it seriously. And the ladies are taking it seriously. They're not trying to bring a guy who's not serious into their situation because they know they've got kids that they'll have to eventually introduce to him as well. So that's why I think he's not going to just narrow down onto one so soon. It's not that time yet for him. And you have to allow him to go through the process. You can't influence when he decides to lock it down. You can make your points known, and if he doesn't, if he's not cool with it, then you have to accept that too and move on.
Fair points, yeah. Fair points indeed. Sean, I don't know if you want to add anything for this section. Talking about Chaz and his millions of connections.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you around him adding Patrice, and then also, just kind of the optics of how it's all playing out with, his connections and what that looks like to Vanessa. I think I think it's also a way, whether it's subconscious or he's consciously doing it, but it's a way of creating a boundary because he already said, "Oh, when you get upset, this is, you shut down." And I'm paraphrasing, right? So he's already seen her upset about something, whether it's the process or the way he moves in the process or another topic. And he's seen how she's acting. So now it's a combination of whether he's testing her or creating a boundary to prove a point like, hey, listen, I can move around the way I want to move around. And I'm sorry, I kind of think him and Laron might have had a little discussion beforehand, and then Laron was the one to have that conversation in the car on the way there, like, "Hey, listen, let's not be possessive about other people." And then Vanessa had that look on her face, like, "Surprise, surprise!" Like, you talk about me, you talk about me, and they kind of gave her a little shake up, like, "Hey sis, we trying to set you up for what to expect, so get in line or you're going to be upset." And then guess what, he gets to the resort, and he's frolicking with Mika on the bed, talking about he's testing mattresses. Next thing you know, he's deep diving for grapes in Rashina's bosoms. Now they lip sync with strawberries. He done moved things, advancing, talking about God forgive him. Nah, bro, you knew exactly what you was fitting to do, and you used your opportunity, and rightly so. You can do what you want to do, but I think he wanted to shake Vanessa up a little bit, like, hey, hey, I'm the man out here in these streets. In this Dallas, not YouTube, but these Dallas ready to love streets, I'm that guy. So be easy. That's my little unpopular opinion, perhaps.
I'll definitely hear that. JR, go for it. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, like the thing is, Chaz, I know he may seem like a player. I think, he just looked too uncomfortable for me to be comfortable being a player. I would expect him to be more relaxed and kind of be, charming them a lot more and not really sweating, breaking the sweat with what he's doing. But now, like, he looked like he was uncomfortable, man. And I don't want to jump the gun, but the previews for next week look like he packing his bags and leaving without picking no one. That's how deep it was. Like, so yeah, I think he's struggling. To be fair, he's struggling because he got so many connections and he doesn't know at this point where to break it off, who to break it off with. Um, if Patrice wasn't his flavor, he hasn't been reaching out to her. He didn't even have her number up until this point. So, like I was like, raw, like you've got 3 connections already, and now you're adding another one to the mix. Like, you're inviting problems, bro. So if you're not comfortable with it, why you keep you need to lock that off. Like, you should have said, raw, listen, Patrice, no offense, but if we haven't got to know each other by now, then it probably ain't gonna be anything. And then, she's got Alonzo to focus on 100%. Maya, like, she's got Laron to focus on, and William. She got connections too, right? I think at least 4 out of the 5 ladies are feeling Chaz. But like I said, I can see why. He's financially stable. He's aesthetically pleasing and all of that stuff. But can he handle what comes with that in this tight situation where all eyes are on him because everyone's now in a confined space?
Great breakdown. Sean, any more addition to that?
Yeah, I thought that was a good point about um the Patrice scenario and the telephone, him not having a telephone number, because that's when it came to me. And I think somebody said this somewhere before. I don't know if you said it, Kojo, or somewhere, is that this attention to a certain degree also may be new for him. And he also mentions that he's uncomfortable with dating so many women at the same time. So I think a combination of him enjoying this attention slash being uncomfortable, it's like a juxtaposition of two things. So I think he enjoys being this kind of player, or enjoy getting, having access to this many women, but it's also an uncomfortable thing. And I think that's where the Patrice thing comes in, where he's like, I never really had her number. Like, he's not able to play that off enough. But in this instance, it doesn't even matter, because Patrice is so intent on whatever her agenda is, whether it's increasing her connection so she has multiple people, or whether there's a genuine interest now with Chaz. I can't figure out which one it is for her, but whatever her agenda is, it supersedes the fact that most people know when someone says, I haven't had your number, and it's been an extensive period of time and opportunity for them to have that number. That's a sign that there just wasn't interest there. But now Patrice is moving it, and Chaz is like, okay, well, listen, I'm that guy today, so let's just run with it and see where this goes. But really and truly, I don't see those two doing anything more than having lip service, like entertaining each other, and then perhaps securing each other a spot at the next elimination. Which, I get it. Sometimes people get really, really strategic with this, but I think it's now becoming the irony of um, the alliances, because the whole thing was anti-alliance, but here we are, we're setting up alliances. And I think it just becomes, are you on the right team? And I think that is what Laron wants. He wants the right team. The right team is him, because he thinks he's the truth teller. He's exposing and bringing everything out of the closet that was, hidden. So if you're, as long as you're on his team, as long as you're on his side, that's the side of the truth. That's the right team. He doesn't want to call it a team. He doesn't want to call it alliance, but everybody that rocks with him is cool. If you disagree with him, if you're on an opposing side, you're going to get blown to smithereens. And I'll end with saying, like, because you see, even the beginning, and I don't know if it's editing or whatever it was, but him and William, before he had that sit down meeting, seemed to be relatively cool until he laid down that hammer and called up the group, the house meeting, and then the table shifted, because Laron was drawing the boundaries of who should be, who's on the right side of things, who is part of the team, the winning team. And you know from there on, if you were on the opposing side, you ain't gonna make it.
Great points there. Go for it, Alcid.
Are we talking about Laron or Chaz?
Chaz, but your mic sounds like your mic sounds like it's suffering.
It does?
Mm.
Sorry.
Is that just me, guys, or is that everyone can hear that? I felt like your mic was suffering there. I think you might have to probably just jump back in or change your audio. It might be audio settings. Maybe it's the headphones. Jay, I'll go for it.
Yeah, like, so this is the problem. Like, some of the ladies have already from early said if they're not feeling you by now, they're not trying to get to know you. So they've restricted their options already. All right. So the process is to still get around and try and establish a connection with someone. Some of the ladies have already checked out of that part of the process. So that doesn't bode well for Chaz, because now, because they've cut off their connections or potentially meeting more, they're zoned in on him. Whereas he hasn't done the same thing. Like, he's still examining his. In fact, none of the guys really have come out and said, if I'm not feeling you by now, then I'm not feeling you, period. So let's not try anything. It's just the ladies that have adopted that approach. And then when it comes to messy Laron, yeah, like this guy talking about.
We ain't got there yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll say this is the reason why I think Chaz has relatively been successful, because he has stayed out of all the drama. He's not involved in the group chat mess. He hasn't been called out for anything, but now his chickens are coming home to roost in a way, because he's too attractive. He ticks a lot more of the boxes than the other guys do. So that's the downside to being the hot commodity, right? The girls want your attention. So how he navigates it, yeah, like we may or not agree on how he's doing it, but he ain't tied to no one yet. He's still trying to figure it out. Does he even know these girls well enough to make a decision yet? So I don't think you can hate on him too much. He ain't trying to wife none of them yet, because that's not what it's about. But gaining connections at this stage, when you're already under pressure, that's what didn't make sense to me. That's my thoughts.
Thank you for that. El Cid, try again. Sorry about that. Go for it.
Does it sound better?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So my question is, what's the point at the ending of Ready to Love? What's the point? Are we getting married like Love is Blind? Or are we making a decision to exclusively date each other? Or are we adding people to our real life roster? What is the goal of Ready to Love? Because for me, the goal of Ready to Love is like, okay, we have just gone through a process and we realize we are aligned and we can date in the outside world. And then y'all decide exclusively. Y'all decide if it's exclusive or not. I'm sorry, but the dark artist in me, Chaz, was tame. It was tame. The dark artist in me, Laron shaking the table, I would have done it. I would have totally done it. Everybody gonna hear this word at one time, so we ain't whispering. And I'm gonna take you head on. I'm sorry, but in my perspective, Ready to Love ain't heading to the altar. So it's just we chilling, we vibing. I need to knock a few players off the roster so I could be in the starting lineup. That's it. But that's just me.
All right, listen, I hear you 100%. I definitely hear you. And RTL, yeah, I mean, the end goal of RTL, I guess, is to find love, but doesn't necessarily mean marriage. So, yeah, definitely hear that as well. Obviously, Chad's got a few connections. The girls kind of let him know that, they started to talk and say, obviously, everybody's got their. I think what really stunned me is again, Patrice's, I'll go to her later on, but her excitement, even amongst the other ladies, to say that she's a part of this roster, I was like, what's going on? You know, what's really going on? Why are we so excited about being on his roster? Being another extra girl being added? You know what I mean? I was a little bit confused by that. Even when she was talking in the lounge, she was very excited about doing that part. But yeah, go for it. Do you want to say something? Is it Sean? Or...
Yeah, I listen. I think Patrice may be a little bit intrigued by a possible sister wife situation, because that to me seemed like she was like not. She was definitely not upset about being one of a few, right? And she said it proudly. So I think that at the end of the day, she might not mind, being one of two or three. She's like, these are some nice ladies. You know, I don't mind if we if we kind of leverage some modern dating techniques.
Yeah, I think you're right. Patrice, she wasn't intimidated at all. She was so gleeful and happy about joining it. But I think it's more a case of she's seen that the other girls are attracted to him, and she's like, okay, well, there must be something great about him for these other ladies to like him. So let me see if I can get him as well. Let me see if I can pry him away from these other ladies. And she's quite confident in her thoughts about being able to accomplish that. Uh, you know, I don't think she is being disingenuous. I think she genuinely is attracted to him. But my thing is, you already kind of not booed up, but the same thing that Vanessa kind of expecting Chaz to do, like Patrice could have done that. Instead of adding Chaz to the mix, she could have just been riding with Alonzo. Like, this is their opportunity to get close. So her joining the other ladies in trying to get Chaz's attention and affection and all that stuff, she definitely welcomes that challenge. And I think she believes, even when they sat down one to one and they were talking, I think she is not afraid to compete for that man. And she relishes that.
It's embarrassing. It's just way too late in the game, and it's like you're acting as if he was chasing you beforehand. So it's like, for me, I'm like, you're throwing your hat way late in the ring. I don't get it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe old boy Alonzo was pissing her off. I don't know, but it's just way too late in the game to throw it around in the ring now. It's like, I don't get it. It almost felt like you're begging. It's like, please put me on the roster. I think that was a bit too much. But anyway, yes, Sid, go for it.
Didn't she look at William funny when William tried to confirm the number with Vanessa? She was on that date. So you looked at William kind of funny, and now you're chasing Chaz to get your number in his phone. If he wanted your number, he would have asked. If he wanted to chase, he would have chased. But again, just he's showing you where his interest lies. Your garden ain't got the fruit he trying to eat. That's it.
But Rashonda does. She got the
Even
whole
with
fruit
Shonda
basket.
suffering.
She got the whole fruit basket down the bosom, strawberries in the mouth, all that stuff. You definitely go into that garden to pick some fruit.
No. He don't want that fruit. He want that fruit. Chaz is a typical player like anybody else. He can play as nice as he wants, and I'm sure he hates me right now in my guts. But he's a typical lad, right? He's assessed the women and put them into groups already. Rashina's the person he wants to have sex with. Patrice ain't even on the list because he didn't even bother that one from day one. Vanessa's the one that he probably wants to get with, but probably date, but later on. You know what I mean? After I had some fun, right? And then you got obviously Mika, he wants to try and assess Mika. What can I get from Mika? You know what I'm saying to you? I need to, because Mika's giving him something, but not all the way giving him something. You know what I mean? Like, she gives him a little bit of play, but not everything. So it's like he's trying to assess that. But Mika's a bit of a dangerous one because that can mash up everything else. You know what I'm saying to you? So he can't play it too tough now because Mika can mash up the Vanessa thing. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, but just know that he wants, for me personally, smashing Rashina. Okay, that's why the energy happened the way it did. And then Patrice ain't even on the list. Okay, I don't think that's his type of girl. And then you got Mika, who is at that wild card. I wanna get into Mika, but Mika's unstable with the way she's moving. So it's a wild card. I could go after it, but it could destabilize my good situation I've got going on with Vanessa. That's how I'm seeing him. But again, I could be wrong, and maybe he's just a great guy like the rest of us who are out there on the streets. Yes, Jay. Welcome to the conversation.
I know I'm just walking in. Hey everybody. Who are we talking about? Is
Chaz
that
and his million connections.
this to be version of how to be a player? This is the Bill Bellamy wannabe version of how to be a player. Okay, I got it. I see what's happening because that's all I was watching. And just like in the movie, he navigated real good. He was doing his thing. And look, I'm not mad. He's single. But we all seen how that movie ended. This gonna end the same way. It is what it is. It's gonna be. I'm liking to watch it though. I'm liking to see how he navigate the room. It's remind me of some old days back in high. Let me shut up. It remind me some times back in some house parties and stuff like that when you just watch people navigate the room, and they got things going on. I agree with you. He has his picks, Kojo, of who is who. Rashina is definitely sexual energy. Vanessa is, if things were perfect, I would wife you. And Mika is arm candy trophy. Let's go out. I could say that I just pulled that. So somebody said something I heard though. They was like, maybe he a late bloomer or he was one of the people that developed being fine real late. And so now they just trying to conquer everything. And I can see that too. But it's interesting on another side note, real quick, just real quick. Is this the reason Laron's so mad at Mika? Like in real time? Because remember on your live, he was really mad with Mika. So is Chaz the reason? Because he was trying to say, I mean, Koisha. Damn, I'm gonna just give that lady the new name. He was trying to say like Koisha. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Sorry, she got to accept it at this point. Was the one who was over here trying to hit with Chaz and all this stuff like that. But you've been up in Mika's face too. She doing the same thing. And I'm trying to, okay, never mind. I'm skipping ahead because I was about to go off on Laron. So I'll back up. All right, I'm done.
Don't you worry, we've got a lot of time to take on Laron there, so you're good. Don't you worry, we're gonna get to Larono. Okay, cool. Let's shift it then, because we spent a little bit of time on Chaz. I'm sure we'll come back to him. Actually, I don't know. Has everyone said their piece on Chaz? Does anybody else want to add anything before we won't go for it, Sean?
Yeah, I kind of think. Do you think maybe, like, it seemed like there's a little bit more going on with him and Vanessa because they had that conversation about potentially sharing rooms, and then it just went left really quick.
Okay, what are you thinking? I mean,
I
are you projecting here, or you just want to tell us?
that's the word of the day, right? I had to take a nap, which is why I'm in later because after that discussion earlier, I needed to shut it all down for a little bit, close my eyes, and pray to Jesus. But yeah, I think that yeah, I don't know. I think there's something there. And I don't know if Chaz wants to see more from her, like, which is why he was kind of pushing the boundaries with the other ladies in her face, or he's trying to pull something out of Vanessa. I'm not sure. I don't know why he's doing these public things with other women where they seem to have something going on that's a stronger connection. Because a lot of times in Ready to Love history, by the time they get to the, you know, the vacation, the resort, the weekend, whatever you want to call it, when they get to that point, the strongest couples are usually together. So I think in Vanessa's mind, she considered them, okay, this is the point where he should now be making his final decision, and we're prepared to walk to the bridge together. But that's in Vanessa's head, but that's not in Chaz's head, because he's still exploring connections. Like, this is, you know, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the process. So I don't know if maybe he's trying to pull something out of her, or their relationship took a turn some kind of way, and now he's trying to create a boundary. Because when they talked about sharing rooms, I don't know if that stood out to anybody else, but it stood out to me like, hey, where are they in this relationship? Are they on the same page? Because if they're talking about sharing rooms, that's usually means, hey, we're either locked in, or we've been, you know, connecting to Wi-Fi, as you say, Kojo.
Wi-Fi definitely was connecting. Anyone else wanted to expand on that? That's a good point, actually. That's actually a really good point. I forgot about the bed situation, because, and you know, Vanessa wasn't really communicating the way she needed to communicate. She started, as someone said, shutting down, and you know, he was doing all that touching your hair, and she was like, if that's what we're doing. It was given, so it's either it's given possessive, or like you guys are saying, something has happened behind the scene. And I've learned now not to just call people possessive, because these people be behind the scenes. Okay, they've been doing some stuff.
Well, that's a reason to call them possessive, because now they feel like they own something, because they done did something behind the scenes. Now they feel like you're mine, and I'm entitled to you because we did something behind the scenes. You just gave away your cookie. To each his own, you know what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to deal with that. And to be honest, unfortunately for Vanessa, the camera is on her, so we're all watching her have to navigate, while the person she done gave it up to, quote unquote, is running around the whole room trying to play like we didn't do anything, because we agreed in public we didn't do anything. So yeah, you should have made more connections, sis. That's all I can say. You should have made you some more connections earlier, so you'd be able to play around in his face just with him too. Yeah, it's not looking good. Ouch.
Go for it, Elsie.
But Vanessa don't seem like the play around the room type. She seems like you know, a habitual monogamist. I go from one relationship, I focus on one person. Even in the mixers, she was not playing the field. And though I agree with the cookie analogy, we know there are people out here getting possessive, and they've gotten no fruit from the garden. People out here getting possessive. So it could be either way. It could be either way. The whole boy is mine situation, the whole all these ladies, I'm sorry, I don't know why when, you know, people are adding to the roster later on, we're okay with it. All of us together, kumbaya, we're okay with it that you've just added your list to somebody I think is mine. I'm sorry, the ladies are either alliances, pulling the BS, they just a little too chill for me. Little too chill.
Well, Elle said, we got to remember she was the one in the car talking about, you know, they always making a little pat as they was riding of people not being possessive. Then they had a whole nother speech about people not being possessive. So she's going to feel some way. They'd have made her feel some type of way about speaking up in a possessive or uncomfy manner about how she feels in this exact moment.
But why do I care about them and I'm riding in the front seat?
Because part of her still cares about image of other people.
See, I don't care. I'm the one riding with him, coming to the retreat in the front seat. And I'ma just be comfortable in mine. I'm sorry. She just don't know how to play that role, that game. And that yes, you could be riding with Patrice in the car or whatever. But again, he has placed me in that front seat of his vehicle. I'm riding with him. Yes, how he move in the house, I'ma look and watch. I'ma really watch how you move around. And I'm sorry, if Chaz was a true player for real, he would have been able to navigate that whole house. That whole house would have been in the palm of his hand, and he'd be working that garden like Adam. I'm sorry.
So El Cid, what about you sitting in the front seat, but I got my hand in the back seat touching Mika's thigh? How you gonna feel about that? And you could see it in the rear view mirror. That's an
Sean,
interesting
now,
position. And that's what
Sean,
was happening.
Sean, you also got to look and see. He don't have to be touching Mika. He could be having the rear view mirror looking in the back. You got to observe everything, Sean. You got to look. And if Mika in the back seat and she should have been in the front, she got to look and see his hand placement and his movements. Come on now, Sean. You don't even need to touch somebody to be touching somebody. You know that.
Well, then maybe that's your advice to Chaz. It's not to me because Chaz was touching. He wasn't just looking because he was touching them grapes in Rashina's bosoms, and then he was kissing her in the kitchen for folks to see, and he was laid down in Mika's bed talking about he's testing mattresses. So he wasn't just being subtle about his flirtations and getting to know different connections. He was doing very physical things in clear view of Vanessa, and you know she got that surprise face. So, you know, he was doing it to either push her buttons or just from lack of not knowing how to navigate it better.
I understand that, Sean. That's why you're observing him. Again, we said nobody married here. So he should have been off your list because you see how he's moved around available women in his proximity. You see it. So you would already make plans to be riding home in Patrice's vehicle because you done with him. On to the next. Why is anybody looking at this and he didn't eat grapes off your bosom even trying to add to his roster? Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta agree with El Cid on that. Like, listen, Vanessa cut off her connections, so all she can do is sit back and watch him with others. She ain't got nothing else to do, and that's her own doing. She turned up her face at William when he was trying to get to know her, and she didn't even entertain some of the other dudes. So, like I said, if you come out strong early, saying, "Listen, if I'm not feeling you, then I'm not trying to get to know you now," then the downside to that is when you get to the retreat and you got no one to sit and chat to you, you're watching your connection move around the room with the other ladies that they got connection with. And, you know, like she may be a serial monogamist, like having come out of a marriage and all of that stuff, but you're not geared for, you're not suitable for the show if it's going to affect you that much, because you have to have more than one connection to stay on the show at least. And if you're focusing on one connection, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, then you might trip and fall on your way home from the market. That's how it goes.
And unfortunately, the ladies, I don't think, see how they're giving Chaz all the power. Because when it turns around, Chaz, now has multiple eggs in a basket, and he has the power to decide which one or which many he'd like to see.
I definitely hear that. Listen, I definitely hear you. Listen, I don't think he's the smoothest player at all, right? Because I'm sure, like, if you were smooth and you had it on point, you've learned through experience how to handle, manage different personalities. And to be honest, the girls weren't that hefty in terms of personalities towards him. So, it wasn't the hardest situation to navigate. He was just making stupid boy errors, in stuff. But, so I definitely understand that particular perspective as well. I'm not gonna take that away. Let's move on, and let's talk. Obviously, I mean, you guys spoke about a little bit about Alonzo already, so there actually wasn't much. When you actually deep it, there actually wasn't much couple stuff happening because people are not in their couples. I guess we can talk about obviously Laron Maya, and William situation. Unless you guys want to talk about Alonzo, I don't know if you have any other additions to Alonzo and Patrice, because I haven't actually asked about that per se. I spoke about Chaz. Let's talk about Alonzo and Patrice then. Alonzo and Patrice, want to get your thoughts. Alonzo, Patrice, and William as well. I want to get your thoughts on that too. Talk to me. Wagwan for that. Alonzo and Patrice. Who wants to go first on that? He's got some thoughts on them too. And them cooking up some in the kitchen. Yes, go for it, Sean.
I don't know. I saw Jay moving. I'm not sure if she wanted to go, just in case. No, I wasn't calling her out. No, I did. I just because I'm on my phone, so I couldn't see if her button came off of mute or not. So I didn't want to jump ahead if she wanted to go.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, it looks like she's frozen to me. Oh, Jay, cut it out. Stop. Stop. I'm done with you. Yeah, I kind of said it earlier. I think, listen, I could be wrong, and all of this stuff is opinion, but I think Alonzo got friend zoned. He just got low key friend zoned by Patrice because how are we strengthening our existing connections and, just kind of maybe getting to know somebody that we knew, but it didn't, but she's starting off all brand new ones. And I think this is the danger when you are the comedian. When you're the comedian, you can very easily get friend zoned if you are not intentional. And he did a good job. She mentioned it with the date, but listen, the goofiness and the silliness, him in that turban, bourbon, whatever that thing is called, he wears atop his head. And then he was, doing whatever hula hoop dances he was doing in that towel. I think you just have to toe the line when you know you're a kind of a funny, good time guy. Like you're going to be put in the friend zone if you do too much silliness. And I think Patrice is done with him. She was like, the museum date was beautiful, best thing ever, but I don't know. I think she might be just being nice because he seems like a genuinely nice guy for the most part. But I think he's getting slapped right in that friend zone. And we just gonna ride our little connection to the sunset so that we don't get eliminated. But yeah, it's a no for her. I'm thinking that's what I think.
Who's ready to go next? Let me just shout out to DD first quickly. Shout out to Cryers. Cryers also joined the membership. Thank you very much. Shout out to you. Woo, 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 woo. I would shout more, but my throat, I think I like, my voice has gone from, don't even look at me like that, Jay. My voice has gone from earlier on. Because I know you're going to say that was a pause moment, but let it go. And then shout out to D as well for grifting 10 Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Listen, we're going to go members only. So if you are in a chat and you're not a part of the membership, we're going to go members only. Okay? So you're going to be X'd out of the conversation in the chat. You won't be able to comment, but you can still watch and still enjoy the show as we head into, I guess, the second part of the show, talking about the more important things, Laron and his connections as well after. Okay. Any other thoughts then to... Oh, okay, see Sean's coming back and thingy. Any other thoughts to Alonzo and Patrice? I want to get you guys... Someone said Williams and Son can place. Yes. Open their mic. Go for it, JR. Sorry.
Right. I kind of see Patrice similar to Chaz, actually. Like, Alonzo only seems to have, put her in a prime position with the way he's been moving with her. And she has received it. She's enjoyed that attention, but now she's still continuing to move around the room. And she's focused on Chaz as well, adding that connection. So just like with Chaz, he ain't hooked and it ain't all over with Vanessa yet. Like she has chosen not to focus on Alonzo and to go and establish a new connection. And he isn't stroppy about it. I don't think we saw one frown or him staring or being possessive like Laron was with Koshia or anything like that when she was moving around the room. That he seems to be cool. I think his problem is, though, is that he is in the friend zone with all the ladies. They kind of see him as the homie. And the one connection that he did have in Patrice, she's starting to look elsewhere. So that puts him in a very precarious position. Patrice, she may have been flattered by the date and the gifts, the love note and all that stuff. But I think she isn't sold on him yet, which is why she's looking at Chaz, who all the ladies seem to like. And I think there's just a level of, okay, if everybody else likes him, I might as well see if I can get him as well. So that to me told me that she ain't really feeling Alonzo like that.
I definitely hear that. What's your guys' thoughts? I mean, whose fault is it that Alonso's got this perception? I don't know. He sounded like he was whinging a little bit. I can't lie to you. After dropping those videos that he was dropping, it sounded like a little bit like he was whinging the fact that people weren't taking him seriously to Vanessa. So, who else's fault is it really? I mean, a little bit of a lack of accountability. It felt like a bit from Alonso in that particular respect. What's your guys' thoughts to Alonso and his lack of accountability here? I guess. Oh, Jay, look ready.
First shout out to LG Camps. Thank you. I feel like Alonzo is just not self-aware of how he comes across. Not enough people are telling him how, that he cares to listen to. Let me put it like that. Not enough people that he cares to listen to is telling them how he comes off in first impressions and certain settings. Because the fact that the friend says, he just has some type of way to joke and he needs somebody that just gets his jokes, lets me know this is him all the time. However, nobody has corrected him and say, hey, in this particular setting around these particular people, that might not be appropriate for you to do or say or move like this. So that's what it's given me, is that he just has no self-awareness. He can't read the room very well. And nobody has told him about himself. So he just feel like he's just doing what he's doing because it's okay. And granted, all of these ladies have told him, you are on some BS, stop playing in my face like that, get serious, be for real, you can't joke like this. He's working on it, but this has been him for a long time. And unfortunately, I don't know what it is that is going on inside of him to make him feel like he can't be comfortable in a serious setting. But I don't know, the joking and stuff, you get tired. People get tired. People get annoyed having to figure out, are you telling a joke? Are you being serious? Can I have an actual deep conversation with you? Because if every time I have a deep conversation with you, it goes to some superficial joke, I don't want to talk to you when I'm really going through something. You're just for a good time and not a long time. And so I think that's what's happening with Patrice, especially going on in this moment, is, and over time, is this somebody I'm really going to be day in, day out messing with? Or is this somebody I just call when I'm running, go out and have a few good laughs and some drinks? What do I really want? It ain't Chaz. I don't know why she jumping on that bandwagon. I think she's just trying to get back with somebody, but and get some numbers to stay in this game.
Okay, but the guy that you described, like the guy that's around for the good time and not a long time, that's also Laron too. So, if we're looking at who's left out of all the men, like who is really there for a long time at the moment? Like none of them really, because they haven't established a connection by now that kind of signals that Vanessa may think she had that with Chaz, but evidently she doesn't. But none of the guys are really displaying the long-term security with any of the ladies at this point.
I hear that. Glenn, sorry. I was about to say Jack and Glenn, that was always. Glenn, welcome. Love for you to jump in here. We're talking obviously about Alonzo Patrice. Obviously he got, he was kind of whinging a little bit as well that, his image isn't necessarily the cleanest. I wanted to get your thoughts on Alonzo and Patrice and what you kind of gleaned and gathered from that situation.
And this guy, he's the fun guy, man. He can't be taken seriously. I think she's looking for something different. I think she likes to have fun, but she wants that serious side. She wants somebody to have the same vision that she has. And I think that scene between Alonzo and Vanessa was Alonzo asking, Vanessa, like, kind of basically, what's wrong with me? Like, why is that my only connection, right? Why don't you really want to be with me? Because I think if you look at Alonzo from the last season, he was fishing for Vanessa. Vanessa kind of shot him down because remember, Alonzo was the one who texted Vanessa like, "Yo, this is the kind of date that I'm doing for Patrice," and she like, "I don't know why he told me that." Well, he's fishing. He's trying to see. He knows that that's his only connection. He knows that she's out there looking for other people, and he's trying to stay in the game, and he can't stay in the game. So I mean, he's been on the bottom for like I think the last 2 or 3 weeks or whatever the case may be. So he's kind of fishing for somebody else to be with. And she's not feeling him because the seriousness is not there. She can laugh and have a good time, but you got to realize she's a mover and shaker. She's an entrepreneur. She wants somebody to be with her that can move and shake with her, and he's not there. I don't think he's there yet, and so she's not having a good time. And she's looking for options. That's why she went to Chaz. She's looking for options, better options, and she don't have that. I mean, the options she had with William, I think William and Alonzo was the two that she brought to meet her family or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, it's not the option she's looking for. So, Alonzo is just the fun guy, the homie to hang out with, not the guy that you can take everybody else to see. So, that's the problem.
Definitely hear that. Yeah, Jay, why you smiling like that?
I just be reading things. I just be reading things with the chest. You know what I'm saying? And I be feeling like people puffy in the chat right now. So I just.
I know you saw what I saw. I was like, I said, let me keep that moving. They ain't gonna invite me nowhere. Any other thoughts on Alonzo's situation? I mean, personally, like I said, I just think Alonzo needs to take accountability for the fact that if you got a reputation, it's a bit like Laron earlier on in the season. You can't be crying about people calling you a party boy and you present party boy. I just like you got to take accountability for your impression you are making. Same with Alonzo. It's like if you've been put in a box of you being unserious. Yeah, you are unserious. All of your arguments seem to be unserious. The Koshia situation, how you dealt with it, even off the show, you doing these videos where you're taking the mic and wanting to push boundaries. It is very unserious and unbecoming of a mature individual and adult. And unfortunately, that's why people are going to box you that way. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. And people are going to judge you for that. So, I think Vanessa's words are true. If you want to be able to change that narrative, it starts with you. You got to do it. You know what I mean? So, like, you can't just be like acting like you didn't contribute towards your own kind of destiny and why people are saying what you're saying. It doesn't make sense. Any other thoughts on Alonzo before we get on to? Because I think that's there wasn't anything else that really kind of happened. Because I know Justin and Mika happened, but there ain't really nothing that happened. To be honest, there's nothing to talk about.
Okay, so I said I wasn't gonna do it, but then I went up to the restaurant today, and one of the guys that work for us, they got locks in their head, and I just happened to look at his head because it's wrapped up, and I was like, "This is not a bonnet. This is actual a wrap. This is actual a lock sock. This is actually a whole bunch of other things that you can put on your head when you have locks." As a man, that makes it look more sexier. I'm gonna just put it in that regards. It makes it look way more sexier when you don't have that little puff going and you have your locks nicely tight back and the stuff, and it just accentuates all your assets. I'm just saying people might want to invest in, they look. That's all I'm saying.
Jay, come on now. When the men talk about how we conduct and present ourselves, even as gently as they say, we don't like it. Come on now.
I'm not saying he got to like it. I'm just saying what I would like to see in a man with locks. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm doing my own grooming, okay? So if they gonna groom us, I shall groom too. If I see a man with locks, please have that thing nicely wrapped up in some Afrocentric type wrap that is made for a king. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to say grand rising to you too, king. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. That's all.
I've been listening to Jay. She's gonna have you wrapped around her finger, just like your locks. Gonna have you twisted up. Stay where you are. You're gonna meet your match. Any other thoughts?
Just free yourself from the bonnet. That's all I'm saying. Free yourself from the bonnet, bro. Let your locks hang low. You know what I'm saying? Let them things be free.
It's an absolute problem.
Jay is out of control.
Out of control.
Mute her mic, please. Oh Lord.
Swift removal.
I think it's part of his shtick. You know what I mean? Like some people have their thing, and I think that's just his thing. And I think he's just gonna have to find a woman that doesn't mind that, and they just gonna laugh that stuff off. Like I see a couple of ladies in the chat, they don't mind the bonnet don't bother them. Jay, why you go off camera? So I think he just has to find his lid, because I think the advice that is given is you're going to catch more fish if you tweak certain things, as a fisherman. But if you are stuck in, this is my thing, this is what I want to do, this is how I am, take me as I am, then it's just going to limit, it's going to limit your feel. But there's a woman that's going to be, okay, Jay, go away. I'm done.
I just want you to take me as I am. So I just want you to take me as I am.
You look beautiful, girl. You look beautiful.
Thank you, because I'm tired. I'm tired of having to get up and be here an hour early to get ready for y'all. I just want to be able to wear my bonnet to day parties, pajama jams, at lake houses, grocery stores, and I don't want to be judged. I'm tired. If he can do it, I can do it too. Just saying.
The day I wear a bonnet, y'all freak out.
Jay, he didn't wear it out in public. Come on now.
Technically, this is public.
Yeah.
Come on, Jay. He at the house.
You're on national television.
And he did wear it, because you remember when they had that other pajama jammy jam, they all left their houses and came to the thing in their evening clothes, and he had on that thing about his head. Look, it's not for. I'm not a fan of I'm sorry, y'all. The bonnet contingency people can come for me. I'll take it. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. I'm not really a fan of them. Now I know sometimes, in the house when you go into bed, good. Any other place, I don't care how you decorate it. I don't care what patches you put. I don't care if you get a Gucci, Poochie, Louis. I don't want to see it outside the doors, and I don't want to see it in the airport. I'm team Miss Monique on that. So come for me. I'll take all the smoke, but I don't want to see it outside these four walls, and I don't want to see it if you're on somebody's camera. Not interested.
So what Sean's saying is he got silk pillowcases at the house.
I actually do. I have silk ones and I have satin ones. They're actually good for the beard growth.
Yeah, and as much hair as Alonzo has on his head, he ain't trying to sit down for 3-4 hours to get that done constantly. He looks like he's just trying to preserve it as best he can. I'm definitely not a fan of the bonnet brigade, but you're going to need to do something to keep that tidy. So they don't get messed up and you spend. Scarf. Yeah, there's bandanas, there's do-rags, there's rasta head. There's all
I don't care if you cut a
stuff,
stocking from one end and put it on the other end.
Yeah, but listen, that's what he chooses to wear. That's his vibe, we may have a problem with it, and some of the ladies obviously may find that a turn off too. But there'll be someone out there that ain't even gonna pay that. No, never mind, right? That's not really a deal breaker, big deal if he's trying to preserve his locks, right? It's when you have that much hair in your head, it's like 3-4 hours, 5 hours to get that braided. Like maybe he don't have time to keep doing that. But to Sean's point, like if he does tweak certain things about himself, then he may tweak too much and no longer end up being himself. So I think it's better that he maintains who he is, and then if he's personating on the show, then he has to down that sword, down that hill, and just accept the fact that there ain't no one there for him.
Thank you very much. Got another member shout out to Talia. Yeah. Listen, my throat's gone. So I can't I'm very sober minded after conversations today. So if I haven't got that passion that I usually have, just know it's coming back tomorrow. But I gotta recover my throat a little bit. Okay, cool. So whoa. I mean, y'all to behave. Sean J at the worst. It shouldn't be a pause because I never mentioned anything at my throat. Why is that a pause? No, can we just say, why is that a pause?
Kojo, just nobody said pause. Just go ahead. See, now you're making yourself guilty. We've traumatized you. We're sorry. We traumatized you. But a couple of people said the pause in the comment though, because it sounded wild. I'm not gonna hold you. You was good until you started mentioning something about your throat. I'm sorry. I gotta be honest with you, bro. I wanted to get on and say something different and backtrack. But once you said throat, I'm sorry, bro. I can't help you anymore. But I didn't say pause. I just made a little face. I'm sorry. I apologize for my facial expressions.
I got tickled because the chat said pause, and then he's been debating.
I was like, why is that a pause? Tell me why it's a pause.
Alexis, you are wild for that comment. No.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Anyway, let me stop being silly. But yeah. So anyway, let's move it off of Alonso. Jeez. Let's go to the next situation, which is actually Laron, because I haven't. Well, I mean, obviously William spoke to Patrice. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on William and Patrice before I go on to Laron, William, and Maya. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on William and Patrice. If not, I'll shift it. All right.
Did anything happen with the two of them? Like did Patrice?
William and Patrice. I don't know, but she was supporting him emotionally in that moment.
It was.
Oh yeah, good point.
They had the little heart-to-heart moment where he was saying that his dad is in the hospital, whatnot, and he's supporting. He took a leave of absence, and it was a lot that he was dealing with, and he was sharing with Patrice or unloading.
Listen, we said it on Maps for those that watch Married at First Sight. Old girl Emily. She got a lot going. Not Emily, Becca. I apologize. You can't have too much going on with you. If you got a lot with you, or to quote Seaway, if you got a lot to you, you probably need to sit this one out, because now we talking about he got a dad at home, and shout out to people that are caregivers to their family members. We've seen that in other seasons, but that's their one thing. William has a lot going on. He wants to open up a gun range targeted for sisters. He's trying to start a fledgling comedy career. He got a couple of kids with a couple of baby mamas. And it's just a lot. So I'm glad they released him. Patrice, sometimes I don't know if Patrice is this person where she is like a caregiver. And we know, unfortunately, women that are caregivers always get the raw end of the deal. So I hope she's just talking to stay in the race. And she's really not this caregiver type, because she's like, it don't bother me. I could have helped him. Patrice. You can't do that. We saw with AD, caregivers need to just, if you're the one that's always giving, you can't give somebody from an empty cup. So you need to not always be jumping in and trying to do. You know, because you get do in the end, unfortunately, because that person doesn't really have much to give you. And I'm done.
Yeah, I agree with Sean. No, I agree with Sean. It looked like William had a lot going on, but also it seemed like William just felt. I know he has a lot going on with his dad and everything else, but William felt bad. The bus got ran over him. Like Laron blew his spot up, and he lost his girl. So at that moment, William was feeling like he was he went from the top dog with a couple people down to the bottom. So he got the wind knocked out of him, and it seemed like he couldn't handle it. So at that moment with Patrice, it seemed like everything had just compounded on his shoulders, and bro went into like a little bit of a depression there. Like he felt bad because I was rolling good before I got here, and bro did me dirty. And so in that moment, he was like, dang, I might be going home. So it's like all the pressure hit him at that moment around the fire, and she just happened to be the listening ear at that time for him. And so like he needs a lot of listening ear because he does have a lot. I mean, you know, when your parents are sick or you have to take care of family members and you're the one or the strong one in the family, that could be a lot of pressure. And I can't remember, Laylin, or it was the one who bowed out because she had a family member that was sick. You know, maybe William should have bowed out and took care of stuff at home, because how much is you finding love, or you taking care of the situation and stuff at home? So should have took somebody else's advice or the pattern that Laylin did and bowed out.
Yeah, like I think like there's a couple of things going on with this one. Like he does have a lot going on, that's for sure. Like all the stuff you listed, the whole shopping list, he has it. And that could be a turnoff because some of these ladies are looking for you to give them your time and attention. And your time is going to be divided into so many different areas with different people. Where do they fit into the program and feel like they're going to get enough of you? So he definitely shot himself in the foot inadvertently by having so much stuff going on. But then there's the other aspect of it, which is he shared something in vulnerability, like a moment being vulnerable, opening up, and that's been weaponized and used to put him down in the bottom as well. So yeah, you've got Laron's buffoonery, but now you've also got the fact that whatever he shared is now being used to eliminate him as well. And I'm sure, that's going to have him feeling away as well. So he looked very dejected. The air's been taken out the balloon, and the clown is no longer smiling, right? Like he's a sad clown now, sad comedian. And I don't think he can pull himself out of it. So I can understand why he's in the bottom, because his mood will affect the way people now view him as well.
2 points. The wall. I hear it. Thank you very much, JL, for that. All right, cool. Let's get to obviously the main attraction. Laron, Maya, and William. I want to get you guys' thoughts. What do you guys glean from this particular part of the show, man? What was your thought processes? Because Maya seemed to be closer with Laron this episode. But I don't know if that's because William had to step aside or what. But listen, it seems like them two have been getting up close and personal, and actually spending some time with each other. So it's already kind of like almost a relationship kind of forming there already. But that's another story for another day. What's your guys' thoughts on Laron and Maya, William, triangle, bits that you saw, bits that you observed? Tell me what your thoughts are.
Well, it looked like Laron was spitting some pimping, as they call it, right? Laron cornered his girl and was whispering in her ear and telling her very directly that that's who he wants. Like his Koshie isn't there no more, even though he keeps on bringing her up as a reason to eliminate other contestants. But yeah, like he saw his opportunity, he cornered her, and he was putting it on her hard. And with William falling down in her estimation, it was the right time. So I think lifestyle-wise, there's some compatibility. Like she seemed to indicate that there was, like his party boy lifestyle, so to speak. She doesn't have a problem with it because she says she'd be out there sometimes too. But remember, he also has a job that pays him quite well in tech, and she has a real job, you know, a serious profession as well. So they both got their little compatibility with how they spend their free time. So I'm not really mad at the connection. I think they might actually work. And he just basically eliminated William from contention so he could be put in prime position. I think that's what his whole agenda was with airing William out like that, was to kind of knock him out the game for Maya's attention so that he can move in and try and make a move on someone that he's clearly attracted to. And as he indicated on your interview, he was very shook to speak to her. But when he got the opportunity, he grabbed it with both hands.
Yo, I think Laron came there with a game plan, and he executed his game plan to the fullest. Right? He prevailed to be the top dog in the room, and he took over the room. And he had a game plan. I mean, he showed you that he could be the alpha dog if he wanted to. I mean, dude took control of the room, called the meeting, got everybody into the meeting, had an audience, started the bus up, and rolled the bus over William, and he said not one word. And Maya liked the fact that he showed some masculinity. He took charge, and William did nothing. And it was all facts. William couldn't prove anything against him. And Laron said, haha, I got you. We got in the room. You didn't say anything. You didn't challenge me. So I know what I can do. I can be Mr. Take Your Girl. And he took your girl. He said, I can be Mr. Take Your Girl because you didn't challenge me. And I realize right now I punked you. And I'm an alpha man in the room. And you ain't going to do nothing about it. I got you. And what he did, he pursued to keep going after Maya. He found out that Maya had an issue with William being with drama. And he kept doing that. And I don't want to say he became a pick me, but he became a pick me because he flat out said, yo, I want to be with you, so pick me. He was like, pick me. he flat out, he knew he had no other connections, and he's smart enough to understand I don't have any other connections, so let me play all my cards on the table. And he put all in, and I think he won because I think William's going home. And I think LeBron won. I mean, he went down fighting, and he didn't just give up. And he threw everything in, and he bet on him. And by betting on him, looked like LeBron won this one. And you know, I think Maya does like him a little bit because they have the same type of lifestyle. They have a lot of things in common. When it comes to kids, when it comes to the party lifestyle, both of them in tech kind of, you know, and both of them in that. So they have some things in common. Will it be genuine? Will it be long lasting? Only time will tell. But she's interested. She ain't shoo him away. She ain't kick him to the curb. She spent more time with him than she did with William. So there's something there, all right? There's something there, and she's attracted to something with Laron. And hey, at the end of the day, he won the prize.
I wouldn't say it was necessarily a masculine move. It was a take charge move. It could be seen as a petty move. Laron just put it on blast. But it was out there in front of everyone. We ain't got to whisper. You ain't got to hear it from anyone other than me. Is what Laron did. He took it head on, and then he had people at his back that would support him. Now, William not saying anything, yes, that looked bad. But I don't know if that's editing or that's how he is himself. You wouldn't know how to play that if somebody's calling you out. You wouldn't know how to play that. And he's calling him out. He's like, I have the information. Now, my problem is, like I said on Jay's channel, no one asked Laron, how'd you get that information? Were you also in that group chat taking screenshots? Or was it fed to you by somebody else the same way you said Alexis was feeding Will information? No one dug in and looked at Laron and said, hey, how'd you come up with this? So I'm saying I would have played it just like Laron. I'd have come in shaking tables, shaking up stuff so I could see like how I can move and maybe I can pull some other people and nobody gonna feel no kind of way. That's just him saying, this is my game. This is how I'm gonna play it. And I need everybody to be on board that we all gonna play this game. That's how I saw it. I'd have done the same thing. I'm sorry. Even if I was ahead and had a solid connection, I'd have just shook the table just for shaking the table's sake.
The one thing I'll add too is that I know some people are saying that this pressure kind of came out of nowhere, or Maya doesn't want him. Listen, that's the surface. But if you dig deeper, remember the pajama jammy jam? He was all up on her neck when him and Koshia was having that fight, and she did not push him away. And when you looked at her face wasn't one of disgust. It was like, she was laughing, giggling, and having a good time along with it. So I think Maya, she definitely, I mean, I don't know where they're going to go, if it's going to go outside of the process, in the process, whatever's going to happen. But I am of the belief that she do like him a little bit. She like him a little bit because when he was sitting there at that Jemmy Jam, then when they were here again, at the resort, she was allowing him in her space, and none of it looked like she was uncomfortable. They were close enough to smell each other's breath, and she was fine. So that, to me, when somebody lets you in their personal space like that, that is a good sign to me that they are enjoying your company. Now, where she goes with it, how far it goes, I don't know. But she was looking at him. Yep, thank you, C Perk. And a lot of times, before they were like, "Oh, Maya's not looking at any of the guys in the eyes. She don't like them." She was looking at them in the eyes tonight or last night when we saw the episode. She looked at him, so I think she might like him a little bit.
I'll say this. I hear a lot of compliments about Laron's gameplay through this here episode. I know people probably think it was, in the lack of better words, a sassy move. I think it was a desperate move, but not a bad desperate move. Like, I see Laron, this is not the right game show for Laron. This is a game show at the end of the day to a degree. But this Laron plays in Big Brother type, Traders type, this sneaky, but if I have to be in your face and own up to my stuff, my gameplay, I'm gonna own up to my gameplay. That's the gameplay he's on right now. The last few episodes has been about Laron avenging Koshia. That's what he keeps telling us, mind you. He keeps telling us that he's avenging Koshia's honor. These people had to get out because they voted Koshia off. You ain't been worried about Koshia since she left. Let's be honest, you have not been worried about her since she actually left. This has all been a strategic move, piece by piece, to line you up in front of this lady here. Because when you first seen her, this was the type of girl that you like but could not approach. You've been doing everything to get your opportunity to actually be here in her face, and it's working. I'm not mad at it. I always like to find somebody every season that, even though despite I might not get along or like some of the things that they do, gameplay wise, Laron is that dude this season. I'm sorry. He is that dude this season as far as gameplay goes. Because basically you've been masterminding this whole thing of alliances, which we know everybody has alliances every single season. However, you're the mastermind of your own alliance. Because it takes one to go against the other. It's no way that you're getting all this information, group chats, messages, and all this sent to you if somebody else is not working with you. I commend him from never outing his people. Do your thing. You moving. I see it. That's why he gonna put it on the front. That's why he gonna sit there and say, let's have this meeting. But that meeting, half of that meeting was about Chaz and his connections not being possessive. The other half was about William not being possessive. And then, oh yeah, by the way, he has an alliance with my person, who is Mika, who's also Chaz's person, which I have a problem with, but I don't have a problem with. Like, say what now? She was like this, best friends with the girl I was really interested in at one point, which was Koshia. I want Shorty over here. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Granted, I see you, so I gotta out you. But the gameplay of this and having your alliance the way it is, I'm not mad at it. It's still pretty strong. Outside of the fact that Clearly, you mad at Koshia and Mika for some odd reason, but other than that, good play because it's winning over Maya. And like Lynn said, they're a lot alike anyway, so y'all should have kind of been talking from the first. Had you just walked up to the girl and said, "Hey, I like you. Can I get your number?" Might have been that easy. Might have really been that easy. So I hope that it pray and it works, that his prize is something worth it in the end and it don't backfire. And they go and have a happy life. Do you? But irony side, real quick about Maya. If you don't like drama, why are you entertaining Laron? Because this brother has been drama this whole time. Half of the stuff has been going on because he's been moving pieces in the background this whole time. So if you think William is the problem, Laron is just as much. I don't know. That's just how I see that.
Nah, Jay, you're right, man. Laron has been moving pieces, man. He's playing chess. Everybody else playing checkers. He's playing chess. He wants to stay in the game. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's moving pieces around, putting people against each other, and doing all type of stuff. And he's outplaying everybody, right? If this was Survivor, Laron might be the guy who wins $1 million because he's outwitting, he's outplaying everybody in this game just to stay around, and he's playing behind the scenes. And some people like that, so he's doing the best to stay where he needs to be. So
I think that he definitely is doing those things, but I think he also doesn't like it either. You know, like some people, you know, that person that says like, don't make me, you know, because if I do it, I'm gonna go all the way there. You know, I think he might be that kind of person because when he was down in that elimination, and everybody has a tell. Everybody has a tell when they're uncomfortable. Everybody has a tell when something's not a little right. And Laron's go-to is seafood. And I'm with you, brother, because I love me some seafood too. You know? So at first, when he was at that date where he didn't want to be, he was all up in that catfish. Then when he got down to the elimination, he started getting nervous. He was like, I know I'm going home. I know I'm going home. And he said these words, you know, and then he was like, but I'm going to get me some crawfish on the way out. That's his tell. That's how you know when the brother is a little uncomfortable. You know, when he goes to that, whatever that good meal is being prepared, yeah, the brother, seafood is his weakness and it's his tell when he's just a little uncomfortable. He was like, oh, I did all of this and I'm still landing myself in the bottom. You know, like, now I feel like I'm going home. Ooh, this might not have worked out right. Bro, play.
You know what I'm saying? You know that scene? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, me, you know?
Why did I get married? No, why did I get married? They said time. They said, whatchamacallit, lied. He said, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Was Jill Scott's husband, right?
Tasha Smith's husband.
Oh, that's right.
Michael J. White.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? Well, his tell is what they got over on that table. Like, I guess I'm gonna get me some crawfish on my way out. Bro, take it easy. Don't let them see you sweat. It just might not be your time, you know? Let the chips land first. But he was nervous, you know?
Oh, yeah. You can tell he was nervous. I mean, when Tommy came, he was nervous from the get-go. When Tommy said, yo, another man's getting eliminated today, he was like, what? Because he had figured, okay, a man got eliminated, now it's a woman. I don't have any connections. So, dang, it got to be me. And that you can see those wheels start turning. He was nervous when he got there. Probably only packed one outfit. Like, I might be going home, you know, whatever the case is. But yeah, the nervousness kicked in, though. He didn't want to eat, though. The bowl was looking good. It was looking good. He got himself a bowl on the way out the door.
Well, you guys are right. Like, he's got a seafood problem. When he sees food, he wants to eat it immediately. And I find it just, like, too hypocritical for Laron. Like, he calling out everybody's mess, and he's the messiest one there. He the one talking about screenshots and airing everybody out. which, you know, some people might find commendable because he's bringing all the darkness to light, as some people may put it. But at the same time, he's the one that's you know, being and blowing up other people's spot with it. So yeah, Maya needs to be mindful of that. If she wants that calm dude or whatever, like, yeah, he displays that, but I think he can get real petty when things go down. And, you know, like, she doesn't seem like a petty person herself, so that may be a turn off for her at some point. But yeah, like, he seems to be the puppet master, and he enjoys that role. You know, the way he pulled everybody together to let them know his rules, like, no one challenged him or whatever, but he took the opportunity to speak to the room, address the congregation, lay down what his rules are, and everybody just went with it. So, you know, some people may be there for that too.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, guys? Dark arts or not dark arts? That is the question. I don't know if you guys answer any thoughts onto Laron's actual behavior towards that situation, like him calling out William with the text messages. Any specific kind of thoughts to that specifically? Yeah.
I would want to say it was dark arts, but the fact that he got so emotional at the same time, it make it weird because I'm maybe just because I'm used to the dark arts with a smirk or a nice little smile on the face or whatever, and so maybe he was selling the role by being extra emotional, or we just got to make sure that everybody is getting my point. So now let me take it back. It's giving dark arts on another level. It's giving the Karen dark arts. I got to make a scene so yeah, it could be believable or whatnot. Especially, let me throw a couple of people whose names is in this room right now. Oh, he was gonna get rid of Koisha and Mika, and this, that, and stuff like that, which is funny. And it brings me to another thought. It doesn't seem like it's a beef between Koisha, Mika, Alexis. It's giving more now a beef between Will and Laron. Because these two men is over here moving and at each other's eyes and trying to take each other's pieces out from jump too, if you really think about it. Because as much as he keeps saying that Will is trying to take out his connections, he over here been trying to move and get his connections out of here too. And anybody else who's connected to one of his connections. So here's a bit of dark arts. There's a bit of dark arts going on. I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely Hunger Games, Maya. You right. Definitely that. Like anybody can get it. This is Game of Thrones at this point. Okay. No honor amongst thieves. Period.
Exactly. And he
survival of the fittest.
Go on, Glenn.
No, I'm just saying survival of the fittest. I mean, he wants to be the last guy. He wants to be the lone survivor, right? He wants to be the guy there. And again, he's willing to let people, he's willing to make moves and no one challenge him, right? You talked about the church earlier, JR. Yo, he's the pastor, right? Laron, he identified himself as the pastor of the church and he's telling people what to do and no one's challenging him, right? And I mean, not challenging in a bad way. None of the dudes are, I mean, he's the leader. He's the ringleader. His personality is the one when he steps in the room, nobody is taking that because he's the loudest, right? He's the, let's think about it. His behavior, he became the loudest there. He set the rules up and no one was like, hey, by the way, nah, that's not how we doing it. He told people what to do. He's like, yo, all right, whatever relationships you got, don't be salty. If you see people talking to other people, don't be salty. So in other words, what he's saying was, he was like, yo, I'm going to talk to other people. I don't want you to get mad. And I'm just letting you know up front that I'm doing this. So don't get mad when I do it. And so he rolled through what he needed to roll through. And everybody else was like, okay, Laron, we got you. You cool. He's smarter than he looks. And he does, and he's very meticulous about what he does and how he does it. And I'm not mad at him. Yo, he's got the job done in the situation. And probably end up with a girl later at the end. Or we at least make it to the end where he can be able to pick a girl. So that's where he's at.
Now, Glenn, I agree with you. I don't think he's the pastor. You know, as a fellow deacon, I think he's the deacon because the deacons conspire and do the dirty work. The pastor's not really going to get his hands dirty. So Laron is he might be the head deacon, you know, he's the head deacon,
Yeah, somebody said head deacon.
senior deacon, you know, so he can round everybody up. He can get the trustees, he can get the usher board together, and then they get in the corner. He's like, hey, guys, listen up. I need y'all all to listen to me real quick. This is what's going on. I need to get the word to pastor so we can execute this thing. Tommy's the pastor, you know. So he come in with the flash and the shoes flying in on the boat. Laron's the deacon. He's like, so let me tell you what it's gonna go.
I'm sorry.
I agree with that, Sean. He's the head deacon.
I'm sorry. For me, it gave Laron underestimated the other team. It gave that they had their alliance. Yeah, we have our thing going on over here. How dare they get rid of my top connection? So now you're coming at me. So now it means war. I was fine with y'all playing y'all little games over there and keeping it over there. Didn't think that they would rise up and snatch his most powerful connection. He underestimated the opponent, and now he's trying to shake the table and say, hey, now I'm coming at you because now I see you, and now we at war.
Thank you, Elsie, because that explains the emotion, the over emotion that was brought into it. Or the passion, as they say.
Exactly. It totally said, I did not have you in my sights. You are not on my level. And now I need to annihilate you. That's what it gave. And it gave, the minute he did that, I always see in my mind, he's playing this as a gamer. As a gamer, if somebody comes at you from an angle that they weren't supposed to come, I will take out every resource you have. And that's what he did to William.
Yeah, and not just William. Like, he took out everybody, taking out the whole, everybody that was associated with it. He's gone after them one by one, and William's the last one left. Right? So I think we also have to remember this so-called connection that he had with Koshia was wobbly anyway. It wasn't stable. It wasn't like she was riding off into the sunset with him. Her last appearance on the show, she was working the room in front of his face. And he wasn't happy with that. When he sat down and spoke to her about it, then it got heated. She shed some tears. He gets up, goes flirts with Maya in front of her face. So I don't know what type of connection he supposedly had with Koshia at this point. Because if she really meant that much to him, then he would have consoled her, just like Chaz was telling him to do. But he didn't. So yeah, like, I think this is a game to him. He's definitely treating it. He's got that gamer mindset. He's a gamer himself. He's playing Call of Duty with everybody right now. He's trying to take out the people that he decided are the ops, and he ain't gonna stop until they're all gone. And he using the same tactics that they used, screenshots, messages, all those things. Like, he's using that against them to get them out. But he's revealing himself to be the bigger snake as well. Because a lot of the stuff he's doing is just extra. You don't need to do it. He could just let the chips fall where they may. But he's actually making a concerted attempt to go after these people.
Listen, you know what? I just want to say, I did say when we interviewed Laron that he ain't stupid. Like, he ain't. And I think this for me kind of proved it more. He ain't stupid. He's been plotting he's a vengeful plotter. Like, when I said I kind of see myself in him, that's what I said. I said, you do something to me, I'm not going straight at you. I'm plotting downfalls. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do, law-abiding citizen. I'm gonna take you down slowly. You know what I mean? And then when I come for you, I don't want to hear complaints. But literally, that's literally what he did. But it's vengeful. You know what I mean? It's vengeful. but it's part of the like someone else said the gamer, but you know, that's how they see things, right? They see the things in a game. You know, it's part of the game in terms of winning and losing, you know. And for him, it's very much that he has to. It's either black and white. It's win or lose. Like if you come for me, or you try it, you go and get this work. You know what I'm saying to you. But the thing is, it's more. It's the arrogance. Of course, he said it's vengeful, but it actually stems from an arrogance as well, right? And the arrogance is, and I think kind of Elsie kind of touched on it, like, which is, he was already plotting from beginning. Like, it's not like he was waiting for them to plot on him. He was already plotting already. The problem was, whilst he was plotting, someone else had another plot. The plot then began to interfere with his plot, and he was going to show them, okay, since you guys want to plot, I'm going to show you who's a better plotter. Right, and that's now what clash happens between William, etc. And also as well, it's very clever because, like, honestly, you know, obviously, I think he said they didn't know that one of the guys was going at that point in time, but it's very clever to nuke your opponent in this particular way, right? Because like and William just didn't do a good job of defending himself, because ain't no way you gonna call me out for Textgate. And I'm going to be like, well, since you go in there, why don't you put up them receipts? Because I need context. What you're not going to do is call a whole damn meeting and then drag me into a situation, no receipts, but tell everybody you got receipts and start screaming and shouting. I look to you like, listen, brother, bring the receipts. Because you all talking about this. And I'm a person as well. Once I go to 10, yeah, it's going to be very hard for me, as you guys already know. It's going to be very hard for me to calm down. So when people are telling me to leave, I'm like, leave what? When I was here, no one's defending me, and you kind of calling me out and telling me that I was this and that. It's making me look bad. No, let him go and get the receipts. Let him go and get his phone. Let him go and get the receipts. Let's all look at the receipts and see what I said. Because I'm confident in what I said. I know exactly what I said. And I know he's twisting it to try and get me into a little situation. No. Let him go and get it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
But in his fishing, he caught William because he was fishing. But he caught William because William went and told on himself. William, one, didn't stand on business like you would have. You know what I'm saying? Like, any of us would have sat there and like, if we really feel like we didn't do something, you got receipts, let me see them. Because I can explain to you what I said. Matter of fact, let me show you them because I got my phone too. I got these screenshots too. So what you want to do? But instead, William went one-on-one with Maya and basically say, well, the screenshots is going to show one context. That makes it sound guilty, even if you're not guilty. You know what I'm saying? And then you're on top of it, you're walking around defeated and guilty on top of it. So even though Laron may be fishing in this moment, he had something. He had something enough to put some bait on the hook, and William fell for it. Like, he bit the bait. I can't help you in this moment. William defeated himself really in this gameplay. Like, that's the only downfall. It's like Laron does move very strategically for a lot of things or whatever, but he's too emotional at like the wrong time. When he needs to be coy and calm, he's not. And for you to be at 10 yelling at me, yeah, most of us is like, you doing all this yelling, but just walk over to your phone and get the receipts. Where William's trying to defend himself. So William, hey, sound like you might be a little guilty of something, some type of conspiracy going on. I mean, Koshia may not been your person, but it sounded like you was part of some plans as well. But hey, look, it don't matter. Maya's gonna leave you anyway, baby. You ain't got enough funds for her. Let's keep it real. You ain't got enough coin for Maya and stuff. And she know Laron got coin with no kids, no baggage, can be out the club, put her in VIP, do all these wonderful things. Baby, her eyes lit up and said, ching, ching. I want to be up in the box. I want to be on the couches and dancing and stuff. So let them have their fun. They young. Let them have their fun. It ain't gonna last. Maybe, I don't know. I can't predict the future. I don't know how long it's gonna last. But as long as that wave is going, let them ride it. Let them be. Now, William, I don't like to say anybody is out of their league, but sir, she was not in the same league you're in. Let's just put it like that. You're dealing with a young lady who has no responsibilities living. I don't know if she has dogs, but like actual children, she don't have none of these responsibilities to be dealing with. So yeah, let her go live. Let her go live.
And just to piggyback on what Jay is saying, William didn't ask for the receipts because he knew what was in them. And that's why when he went to the room with Maya, he tried to get her to the side so they can talk around the text messages. And then he said, well, if you see the text messages, it's going to look like what it looks like. When somebody tells me that, that means you were complicit, my good brother. You know, he was complicit. He know what he said. He saw the plot. He might not have been the one driving the ship. He might not have said, oh, you can get rid of Kashia, but he saw the text messages flying around about Kashia and Mika, right? He saw them and he just said, hey, listen, I don't have a connection with either one of them. And then he saw how the narrative was being built and he didn't say nothing. Well, he kind of did say something to Maya, but I don't think he told her the full thing. So at the end of the day, he don't want them text messages to be shown because maybe it's even more than that. You know, maybe it's even more. So he's like, hey, easy on the receipts, you know, because if that's me and I know my name is caught up in the mix, I'm going to talk around the receipts. I'm not going to push you to show them because if he knows Laron probably would have pulled them up and it might have even been worse than what it already was. So better just let me take this L. Let me take this L. Let me try to get my little connection I got over here. Maya, let me talk to you on the side. Because that's actually smart and strategic. Because you pull somebody outside of the mix and you get them on the one-on-one. That's when you can, you know, you can spit that knowledge. You can kind of try to spin their head a little bit. But Maya was already sold. He had too much with him. So all that game he was spitting, trying to say, listen, the receipts going to look how they look. Yeah, he was dead in the water. As soon as he said that, I'm like, bro, you knew what it was. You was on that time. But Maya had made her decision. She was like, nah, bro, you got too many things. You got like 50, 11 things on your list. Now this text message, this is my way out.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean, man. He knew he was dead in the water. It's like Laron knew he had the ace. You know how you play spades and he comes down to the last card and you know you won the hand because everybody else's hand's already been showed. And Laron was that guy. It was like you playing dominoes. He knew it was domino time. I got you. You can't say anything because I have receipts and I'm going to pull them out. And William like, you know what, dang, I said it. But it was smart to try to pull Maya to the side because he was got. But she fell for it a little bit. She calmed down a little bit. But again, she at that point, she had already been checked out. I think she was checked out. She didn't want to deal with him. She was like, you know what? To save face with him and not to embarrass him anymore, she was like, okay, I got you. Because she was tired of the conversation with him. And she moved on to Laron because all her energy after that point, maybe it's editing or not, and you know, whenever coach did the interview, you may see it, but all her energy after that point went to Laron. None of her energy went to William because William started sulking. He started feeling sad for himself. He realized he messed up, and we ain't see him anymore. You know, and that's why he was at the bottom. He had too many issues, and he was involved with Dominique, Will, and himself with conspiring to get people out. You know, and I guess you throw Alexis in there too because you know they could try to call it in cahoots, but he was just caught up with the wrong team. He might not have been driving, but he was definitely in the car, and he went down with him.
Look, we knew Maya was checked out when she kept unpacking and packing that same bag. She was moving that bikini or whatever she had. Maya, shout out to you if you're still listening. She moved that bikini from one back to the bag into the closet, back to the bag into the drawer. She must have done that. She wasn't listening to anything he was saying. She's like, yeah, It went over here. It came back again. That same yellow, whatever it was, it went back and forth. She was tired. She was like, bro, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. So, hey, look, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Any other thoughts, guys? My time is coming to an end, but any other thoughts on that situation? Because obviously, you know, Maya says she feels like she's getting closer to him, they're building a stronger connection. You know, they both agreed on liking fun. Any other thoughts on that? Have we said all we can say on the two men in question? Any thoughts?
Maya did ask, if Laron's friend doesn't have any kids either. So that perked my ears up. Are you checking for the status of the friend too? That just perked me up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts, guys? That's it. No other thoughts. That's about it. Because there wasn't much that happens on the show. This to go right. This position. Yes, Sean.
Oh, this is it. This is the final couple. I guess we're gonna see if they're gonna Bonnie and Clyde it out. Let's see if Laron makes it. That'll be interesting. But I think they got a little, I see a little flame being built here. They had a little moment. Let's see if it goes further. Let's see if Laron makes the cut. I mean, we know Own done spilled the beans. So, but yeah. Nah, I think that, forget all about all the drama, all the antics, all the game playing. If we just look at it foundationally, these two have the most in common. They have similar lifestyles. They, similar, they have that goal. I think on paper, they should work. Now, we add personality and all the other things that, go into a relationship and two people in it. We'll see where that goes. But on the surface, they make sense.
Yep. Any other thoughts? No. Then our time is actually, yep. Someone said Justin is surviving after he almost drowned in the water. But our time is like 2 hours mark is hit, so I promise I'm going to try and stick to time these days. Deacon, you have to give us the benediction, and we're going to get ourselves out of here. I know it's also going to be later for you guys as well, so. Wait, Maya said we're 40% right. Well, Maya, we need to know what the heck happened because, baby, it looked like you switched. Okay? It looked like you switched.
Stop teasing us.
Not 60?
She said 40.
Out of 80?
How about what about this, Maya? What's the 40% we write about? Tell me the 40 that we write about. I do like a tease, Elsa. I do like a little tease, but I just want to know, what I'm being teased with. So what's the 40%? Just tell me the 40. The 40 we write about.
That's a good question.
She can't say without spoiling. Okay.
All right.
Well, we're gonna build from 40 to 50, from 50 to 60. Just help us build.
Well, I'm gonna stay in my land of delusion. I'm gonna be at 100. I'm at 100% right, so I don't know what to tell you until I see the receipts. Show me the receipts. Then
we want to know what's that song? What's the Joe song? I want to know.
Yeah, baby.
I want to know.
Tell me what you got.
Tell me if it ain't good enough. Now we done switched songs, Jay. You done switched it now. Where's Seaway for the
she ain't gonna, she knows those. She knows that one.
They're telling her what to do at the bridge. Oh my, come on. So
she done did what she gonna do at the bridge. How you gonna tell her what to do now? It's done already, baby.
Kojo is tired of us. He's ready for us to conclude.
It's not even. I'm good. You're good.
All right, I guess it's benediction time. I was actually stalling, to be quite honest.
I was helping you stall a little longer too. Stay a slow benediction. Stay a real slow one.
I was stalling, to be quite honest.
Y'all want me to go ahead and say a prayer?
Have you got more you can say?
Huh?
I'm
stalling to try to figure out what I'm going to say for the benediction.
You left the chat. I'll say a prayer. We'll be here for a while if I say a prayer. I might fall asleep in
I was stalling big time. I was like, okay. Maya helped me out a little bit, gave me a couple of minutes to get my thoughts together. So What I think about, love and war is it all fair in love and war? Yes, it is, but no, it's not, because it ain't no fun until the rabbit get the gun. So Laron, he had the gun today, and he shot his shots, and they landed per se. Let's see. We don't know if he made it. Well, we kind of know, but we don't know if he made it, and got his opponent eliminated. But he looks like he won the war. So listen, but just like Laron, you had the gun today, somebody else can get the gun tomorrow. So just be careful. Be careful when you're firing shots, because things do turn very quickly. So just be careful. And also, lastly, in love, if you are using strategy and tactics to win over somebody, just be careful, because you, in love, you want the person to want you for you, and not because of the game you played, because the game will play you. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean. Appreciate that. Listen, good show, guys, as well. Audience, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, let me quickly do some house stuff, because obviously some people joined obviously today. Shout out to LG, Maya as well, who's from RTL as well show, Talia as well, Mrs. Brown, Brandy, and shout out to once more again for gifting out 10 memberships as well. We appreciate you, honestly. It's always a gift in the season for people to give, so thank you. And I think it's Chris, and I said cries anyone. So appreciate you guys joining the memberships as well. Beautiful stuff. I would have played it longer, but my headphones dropped out. All right, cool. And then Tyra said Laron deflected with yelling. He's dirty too. I don't know if she meant 32 or dirty too in that way. I don't know if it's like a play on words. So we going.
You were sleepy.
Huh?
She was insinuating his hands ain't clean.
I was like, yo, is that 32 or 32? What does she mean by that? Was she? Yo, you can tell that I am tired today, boy, because, I didn't get that royal napping before we started. Felicia H, shout out, said, great live panel. Really, really appreciate you as well. Much love for that as well. Thank you so much. We're going to be back tomorrow because we got the Lovers Blind panel. I need to officially actually put a time on, so I'll just talk to you guys behind the scenes and see what time works for you guys. I want to do a little bit early. I want to do it as late because time is also going forward, isn't it, right? So officially at 2 o'clock or whatever your time's going. So we'll do it way before that time goes. I don't want to do it that late. But we'll do a Lovers Blind open. I say open panel, but selectively open, meaning we get to choose who comes up. But we'll do a Lovers Blind panel as well going forward. Elsid is asking now for Married at First Sight. Y'all know already. Listen, I'm trying, but I can't keep up. I mean, I haven't even watched the last episode. I get into it, and then my heart just goes, why are we here? I finally got to that point where everyone got to when after Chris and Paige's season got to, people that couldn't watch it. I just can't even watch it. And I'm just like, why are we here? How long are we going to struggle with a ninja dodging sex? How long are we going to struggle? Huh? How long are we going to struggle with somebody who's got heart murmurs and doesn't want to come back and have more heart murmurs with a girl he doesn't like anymore? How long? The struggles of Egypt and Israel, it's tiring. They're walking around the wilderness with the show. So, but I know Sean else will love it. So someone said they should convince me to do it.
Listen, Coach, this last episode was finality. So I promise you, and Elsa can back me up, this last episode, you're going to see we're going to get put out of our misery, and we're going to get information. So please, I implore you to watch it. Jay even knows. Jay knows more about it than you do.
Nah, I'm going over to Under the Olive Branches because I'm going to say LAMDC. We need to watch Love and Marriage DC. We need to get on that.
I'm really waiting for Detroit. I can't lie to you. Detroit was my ish. I can't lie to you. Detroit was banging. DC's a little bit.
Yeah. But we got to get back on it. We're trying to keep our black people in business,
Detroit was nice. I can't lie to you. So we'll
Did
try.
They get clear for a second season?
I'm not sure. You know, they did that spice, and then they had a little bit of, you know.
What's our other show, Sean? Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah,
That's
Summer
coming back.
House, Martha's Vineyard. That's coming back. I think the 24th or the 29th, something like that.
Well, we'll start reviewing that then. We can do that together then, because you know me.
But yeah, let's just bring some closure to maths. You know,
let's
to
do some
circle
closure
back.
to maths.
Let's not leave it hanging. You know, we gotta finish. We gotta what we start. We gotta finish. You know, we don't want to be lazy. You know. I'm not going to say
There's another episode.
It'll be a plausible moment. Sean, you have admin powers on here. You know what I'm going to say to you? Feel free to start it.
It's like one more episode left, bro.
Feel free. You have admin powers. You can actually start a live by yourself.
Let's talk offline and we'll figure this out. Jojo is just wearing me out here.
You know, Sean, when the pastor's away, the deacon leads.
That's
Sean,
right.
Sean, just tell them you want some of that church money when it start coming in for the numbers y'all get.
Listen, whatever money you get from Married at First Sight, you can have it.
Bring all your tithes to the storehouse, says your God.
You gonna come back. You gonna come back. This man gonna be running a whole shop. He gonna be like, "All right, the bidding starts at."
I'm like, the money's coming in. Let me get my ass back in here, so I appreciate it.
See, the chat is saying the last episode. Chat is saying last episode was wild. Sean, you got an application for co-host.
He said it was wild, so shoot.
You can always come over here and be a guest, man. Come over here and be a guest.
Glenn, you know what? You wanna host it? Because I'm tired. I'll just link it to you guys' channel, and then you can do a joint collab that way. You, Sean, Glenn, y'all gonna collab it. So feel free. I'll be in the back room preparing my sermon for another show. No, I'm playing. Audience, okay, listen, we gotta go. So much love, much appreciation. Shout out to you guys for coming out 550 strong, and shout out to those who are new members as well. Really, really appreciate you guys. Well, tomorrow, remember, we've got another live Love is Blind, so it will be open to those who are members. So if you're a member, you'll be able to join up as well. I'll take 1 or 2 extra members because I think we're gonna have a selected panel. But if there's 1 or 2 people who want to be a part of the show, then yeah, we'd love to get you guys on there as well. And I'm going to try and get a few people like Roxy. I know there's a couple of people who are doing some great stuff there. Channel Roxy, and I think Queen E might come. Actually, no, she says she's busy on Sunday. I'll try and get 1 or 2 of them. I would have to get. I need to mess up married 10 years. You know, she'll be awesome. If I can get her on a panel of you guys, that would be awesome. I know she's gonna keep it 100, and I know a lot of people would definitely love to hear her perspective. All right, cool. Why are you two grinning like that? Listen, Jack, Glenn, you're also welcome as well if you got time to jump aboard.
Yeah,
blind tomorrow, then
depends on the time, man. We'll check it out. We'll talk.
All right, audience, thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Stay locked, stay loaded. Someone said delectable. That's right. They already know. Deacon Delectables. You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. It's actually delicious, delectable Deacon. You have to remember it's triple D, baby.
Triple D.
I appreciate you.
I thought we would make it through one live without the foolishness, but here we
are. Sean said, listen.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
He ain't doing no triple D here. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Till look, see you soon.